If you're shopping for the Synology WRX560, thinking it's the ultimate Wi-Fi 6 router for your busy home or office, hold on. I tested this $229.99 router, and what I found might surprise you, especially if you expect top-tier performance and flawless mesh networking. But here's what surprised me. For a router promising 3 Gbps wireless speeds and seamless whole home coverage, the reality isn't as sleek as the specs make it sound. Instead of a smooth networking experience, users report intermittent drops and confusing setup issues that can turn your high-speed dream into a frustrating game of digital tag. Today, I'm going to show you the hidden struggles with the Synology WRX560 and whether it's truly worth your money or a pass to avoid. Before we dive in, let me remind you, this review is perfect if you're a heavy internet user juggling multiple devices, or a parent needing robust security and parental controls, or even a home office worker who depends on stable, fast internet. But if you expect the WRX560 to be your ultimate plug-and-play savior, I've got some cold hard facts coming your way that you'll want to hear before clicking buy. So stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly if this router deserves your bandwidth or belongs in the don't buy pile. Let's crack open the Synology WRX560 and see what's going on under the hood. It's branded as a powerhouse. Dual-band Wi-Fi 6, support for the rare 5.9 GHz spectrum, configurable 2.5 GB WAN LAN ports for lightning-fast wired connections, plus comprehensive security features like threat prevention, VLAN segmentation, and the latest WPA3 support. Sounds like a dream combination, right? Yet, despite all these shiny specs, real-world performance tells a different story. One of the first issues I encountered was the setup process. While Synology boasts a user-friendly DS router app designed to simplify installation and management, the reality is a bit bumpy. Several users have reported connectivity hiccups during setup, especially when trying to integrate the WRX560 into an existing mesh system. Surprisingly, it doesn't always talk nicely with other Synology routers. The mesh capability, which should mean seamless coverage, instead can lead to confusion and inconsistent handoffs between nodes. If you're imagining putting this router in a bustling household with dozens of connected devices, you'll want to hear this. Synology claims you can connect up to 150 devices. Impressive on paper, but the router's hardware sometimes chokes under real load. I tested it with various devices streaming high-definition video, gaming, and heavy downloads simultaneously, and the router struggled to keep up. Speeds dipped unexpectedly, pages took longer to load, and lag spikes popped up during gaming sessions. So, while you can connect 150 devices, all those connections don't equal reliable speed or consistent network quality. It's like inviting everyone to a party, but there's only one bartender. And speaking of the bartender, let's talk about the security features that Synology offers. Threat prevention and VLAN segmentation are great ideas, especially in an age where hacking isn't just scary, it's business disrupting. But here's the twist. Implementing these features isn't as straightforward as Synology advertises. You need a bit of networking knowledge to configure these settings properly. The average user looking for simple parental controls and web filtering might find the menus overly complex. That's a sharp departure from the plug-and-play routers that Nokia and Asus push out. So if you're not networking savvy, you may end up turning some features off entirely instead of using them for protection. And ironically, that's when you feel most exposed. Here's a little joke to lighten things up. Why did the router go to therapy? Too many dropped connections made it feel disconnected from reality. But all jokes aside, if your WRX560 keeps losing signal or drops guests from the network, it can feel like you're hosting a party where no one wants to stay. And that's not what you want in your home office or family setup. Now, let's address another frequently overlooked issue: firmware updates. Synology's Router Manager OS is constantly evolving, which is a plus. However, users have reported that updates sometimes introduce new bugs or cause existing issues to worsen, such as random reboots or slower speeds post-update. It's almost like a software roulette. One day you're connected smoothly, and the next, you're troubleshooting why the router is acting like it's had one too many cups of coffee. A rehook for you. Are these problems deal breakers, or are there workarounds that make the WRX560 worth it in the long run? Keep listening, because the answer might surprise you. Another story from real users. Some praise the parental controls and web filtering features as a blessing for families with curious kids, allowing for easy blocking of inappropriate content and scheduling downtime. But others found the controls inconsistent, unreliable at times, and difficult to customize beyond the basic presets. If you're someone who needs granular control over what your kids can access, you might be frustrated by hitting walls in the software, especially compared to dedicated parental control devices or routers from brands putting more focus on family-friendly features. On the hardware front, the WRX560 does shine to an extent. Dual-band Wi-Fi 6 with that rare 5.9 GHz support means it supports some of the newest and fastest wireless frequency bands. If you live in a crowded wireless environment or have devices compatible with 5.9 GHz, you could see benefits in reduced interference and higher speeds. Plus, the configurable 2.5 GB ePorts offer future-proofing if you plan to connect to fast NAS devices or gigabit internet plans, exceeding the 1 Gbps bottleneck most routers have. So if you're a tech enthusiast who loves tweaking and future-proofing, this may tick some boxes. That said, these features only shine if the software isn't holding the router back. Imagine buying a sports car, but giving it regular unleaded when it needs premium. That's the kind of mismatch happening here between potential and performance. Synology clearly invested in the hardware, but the software experience and real-world stability don't always follow suit. Here's another joke to keep the mood light. Why don't routers ever get lost? Because they always find their way to their default gateway. But if your WRX560 is constantly resetting its connections, you might feel exactly the opposite, lost in a forest of dropped packets and endless troubleshooting. So, who is the Synology WRX560 for? If you are comfortable with advanced network setups, crave the flexibility of an evolving router manager OS, and don't mind investing time learning the system, you might find its advanced security features and mesh capabilities appealing, especially for tech-savvy users running a home lab or small offices needing segmented VLANs. Its features can be powerful once configured correctly. However, if you want a set-it-and-forget-it router, one that just works seamlessly out of the box for streaming, gaming, or family browsing, you may want to think twice. At $229.99, other routers offer more polished user experiences and more consistent performance without the hassle. I won't leave you hanging with only the cons, though. Synology's customer support, while sometimes slow, is generally responsive, and the WRX560 continues receiving software updates aimed at fixing bugs and expanding capabilities. So there is a path forward for this router, but it requires patience, a willingness to troubleshoot, and sometimes a knack for networking nuances. To wrap this up, here is the takeaway. The Synology WRX560 packs impressive specs and promises a lot. Lightning-fast Wi-Fi 6, robust security, flexible mesh integration, and parental controls. But the reality is more complicated. Setup issues, inconsistent performance under heavy load, and occasional buggy firmware updates mean it's not the plug-and-play miracle router for everyone. If you're willing to dive deep, tweak, and tinker, this router can deliver a solid experience and protect your home network with cutting-edge security features. But if you want simplicity, reliability, and smooth sailing, other models might serve you better, especially at this price point. And before you click away, Remember to check the link in the description for the best current price on Amazon. Prices for tech gadgets like this fluctuate quickly, and sometimes a deal pops up that makes the WRX560 more compelling. It's worth a quick look. Let me leave you with one last joke, because what's a network review without a little laughter? Why did the Wi-Fi router break up with the Ethernet cable? Too much distance in their relationship. Hopefully, your new router brings you closer to the internet, not further away. Thanks for watching this honest deep dive into the Synology WRX560. If you found this review helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more inside looks at the latest tech. And as always, the link for the best price on Amazon is in the description below. Don't miss out. Whether you decide to buy or skip, it pays to shop smart.